I call Gareth Hughes?
Kia ora, Madam Speaker. Ngā mihi nui kia koutou, kia ora. We took the kids to the circus recently. I don't think they saw in the circus event more acrobatics and backflips than we saw from the National Party tonight. Every single allegation against this legislation can be rebutted with a simple question: why did you put it to the House in the beginning? What we heard is from the last member, it was a philosophical chase. It was anti-business. Won't achieve anything. Why didn't the member ask Minister Goldsmith when it was originally put to the House? We also heard that member say, where's the evidence? Well, I would point to the OECD. I would point to the market studies that we've seen conducted by the US Department of Justice, the studies conducted in the UK, the studies conducted in Japan. Where's the evidence? It's all over the world, Mr Bailey, and you should look at it. Now, I also heard from that member that this was all about meddling. This Parliament is acting on behalf of consumers, making sure they get a fair go, making sure businesses operating in a competitive, fair environment get a fair go and can compete. Because what we're talking about tonight isn't about meddling, it's about making sure we've got a fair market so consumers and market participants can have confidence in the system. And that's exactly why the government put it originally. Now remember, the National Party was for it, then they're against it, and we don't know where they are today. I urge them to support it, because what we're talking about is the evidence is very clear. Criminalisation of cartels is effective. That's what the OECD's found. What they've also found is that New Zealand is particularly susceptible as a small economy with limited market participants in various fields. When you look around the world, there's $16 trillion of activity estimated by participants associated with cartel behaviour. When New Zealand is particularly susceptible, and we've seen various cases in our history, from the ophthalmologists through to the air transport case, look, it's important that we make sure that we listen to the evidence and actually have the deterrence. Now, what we know from the data is that having a criminal charge on our statute books does act as a deterrent. The OECD have also found that it's more effective at actually finding it. Now, it's important because the negative impacts on an economy are so widespread. It's in terms of market concentration, the ability to screw the scrum. Now, as a country that saw one of the most closed economies outside of the Soviet bloc in the 70s through to the 80s, where you saw companies get rich simply because they were able to get an import licence under Muldoon's government, we've got to be wary of concentrating too much power and screwing that market scrum. For a country that's languishing in the bottom half of the OECD or the developed world when it comes to investing in R&D, when the officials are advising us that cartel behaviour limits innovation in the economy, we should be acting. And the evidence says criminalisation means detection is easier and it's also a more effective remedy to stop it in the first place. So look, we're absolutely right behind this legislation. We would note that similar countries such as Australia, UK, US, Canada, Japan all have these. The officials have advised the Parliament that international cooperation will be furthered if cartel behaviour does have a criminal charge on the statute books. Look, it's been through a select committee at the moment. That's why we're supporting the process. We've got to speed up. I mean, this was originally, we saw the first report back in 2010. The legislation was originally put to the House back in 2011. We've got the opportunity to protect consumers, protect our economy at the moment. I would note the Minister's pointed out the very pragmatic and reasonable exceptions, such as collaborative activity to encourage business certainty, the block exemption, for example, in the shipping industries, and note the transition period of 2 years to give businesses certainty and the ability to get up to speed with this new statute. Look, it's all about protecting consumers. And what I've heard from the national members is that this, for some reason, this is the only for want of activity, this is the only legislation the government put to the House. What we heard from the Minister is all the work on his work programme to protect consumers, to protect the economy, such as the Commerce Commission market studies, the Section 36 review to stop the abuse of market power. This government is active to protect consumers, to make sure all participants in the market get a fair go and no one is screwing the scrum, because ultimately what this is about is giving New Zealand consumers the ability to purchase products or services at a fair price. When you look at our supermarket sector, food prices, petrol prices, important questions have been raised if Kiwis are in fact getting a fair go. In a small economy, a small country like ours, it's particularly important. I'm disappointed the government originally had the right idea based on evidence, flip-flopped, back-flipped, and here we are tonight. I hope they can flip back the right way, look at the evidence, and make sure they're voting along the right side to protect Kiwi consumers. Thank you, Madam Speaker.